Okay. And we are live. Go ahead and get us right on Facebook. Instagram is the last man standing. And we are live on Instagram. Perfect. Let's go ahead and jump into it. What's going on, guys? Man, very excited for today's topic. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Okay. If this is gonna be for you, if you're an online health coach and you sell a premium offer to help people with transformation. So if you're any one of the coaches like mine, you are selling fat loss. Maybe you help women with PCOS or menopausal issues, or men with testosterone or performance or productivity, right? You're using something science-based to help people with health transformation. We sell a very high level, high value offer. Typically my clients are selling offers between 1,500 and 5K offers, fully online. If that's you, and you feel like whenever you are selling your offer to your audience, to your prospects, you're constantly hearing, I can't afford it, or, this sounds really, really good. I'm just going to need to think about it a little bit. And you're not selling. You're getting ghosted after calls. I'm going to show you why that's happening and how we can kind of turn that around for you guys. All right. Because I want you guys making sales. Okay. I want you guys booking these calls. I want you guys enrolling these clients. I want you guys making this income, and I want you guys making this impact. Okay. So again, this is going to be for health coaches with premium offers who are tired of hearing all these objections and getting ghosted by leads or struggling to close sales. Okay. So first things first is, if you know that your coaching program is worth every penny that you charge, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat, because I got to check the temperature on you guys really quick. Because before we even go into closing sales, I need to understand. I need to know from you guys that you're actually standing on the value of what you offer. Okay. Because here's the thing. If you don't actually believe that your program is worth every penny that you charge, you're never really going to have the confidence for any sales strategy to work anyway. Right. So we need to make sure that's important. So if you know your program is worth every single dollar and you want your clients to see it too, right? Again, drop that 1 in the chat. Right. So real quick, guys, notice you guys, I got the tea. I got the ginger lime tea. Extract a little ginger, throw some lime in the bottom. See, a couple of coaching calls, I was doing this whole have my protein shake before the coaching call. Before the live stream, and I played myself. Was over here coughing on a live stream. Sometimes that protein shake has that chalkiness. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it smooth. I'm gonna get me some tea, throw a little honey in there, throw a little lime and ginger, and Coach Tice is gonna be good to go. So we're not having none of that choking up on a live stream anymore. All right, because I can't be having y'all laughing at me while I'm trying to educate you on how to get to this coaching bag. Okay, but let's jump into it. Right? Do any of you guys ever feel like when it gets time to pitch your offer after you drop that price, you somehow end up getting told a bunch of excuses, right? Sometimes you feel like you got to become somebody's financial advisor. Like all of a sudden you went from a health coach to a financial advisor because a person can't seem to figure out, where they're going to get this down payment from for your program. Or maybe you turn into a realtor because all of a sudden everybody's buying a house at the same time they wanted to learn about your coaching program, right? Or even worse, and you guys would feel like you gotta become a therapist, right? These are all things that happen. This is a lot of times what the selling experience can feel like when we're not aware of some of these things I'm going to talk to you about today. It can feel draining. It can feel just long. It can feel unreasonable. And honestly, sometimes when you're dealing with all of these things, it can start to make you question your own self-worth or the worth of your offer, right? And so here's the reality. First thing I want you guys to understand is that, like, when these things are happening, it's typically for a reason, right? And so a lot of coaches will tell you that you just got to have the perfect prospect. I don't necessarily believe that. Money makes conversations weird for just about everybody. And so in some cases, it makes people kind of like want to fall back or put what I call a sales guard up. In other cases, it brings up a lot of people's trauma because they want to make a decision to get where they want to be, but they got this money block right? Stopping them from getting where they need to be. And so instead of jumping into the metaphysics of how to get people to make decisions, I want to talk about the core 7 reasons why people objectively just don't buy your offer. Okay. Now I've learned this taking thousands of sales calls. These are the same things that I use to help my clients, which 85% of them who work for me for more than 6 months end up making more than 100K. Like my client Phyllis, who I took from 75K to 140K in her business, right? Shout out to Coach Kaylee. I'm not going to put all her income out there, but she was just shy at 100K last year. And that's only, I think that Kaylee, that's only because you went and cheated on me with them other coaches who wasn't giving me that real good sales game. But it's all good. You came back, and we gonna make it over that 100K this year for sure. We're already pacing at it. All right. But listen, what I'm gonna explain to you guys today is exactly what I've learned through selling high ticket health coaching offers, as well as what my clients also understand as well. Okay. And so first things first is one of the biggest indicators that somebody doesn't buy, or one of the reasons why people don't buy, is for the basic reason that they just simply don't trust you, right? So maybe through a lack of authority that you have with them, maybe through a lack of credibility that they may perceive, or maybe through a lack of connection. That person on the other side of the Zoom or the phone, they just don't trust you. And the reason why this is an issue is because when people don't trust you, they don't really open up to their real problems, in a conversation. And they often just have skepticism around making a decision with you, right? And so if people don't trust you, that's going to be a large reason that they don't buy. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is that your prospects don't fully understand their problem. And so when people don't fully grasp, their problem and their pain, they won't necessarily see you as a solution, right? Like, have you guys ever took your car to the dealership for an oil change, and then they come back and they give you the sort of the multi-point inspection, and they say like, yeah, you can do this and this, and you're like, okay, how much it is? And you're like, yeah, it's like, it ends up being like $3,000 for something random. And you're like, well, and they tell you, you're like, yeah, you should probably do that because you don't want that thing to go, right? And you're like, yeah, nah, I'm good, right? It's not a problem. However, when your gasket cover does blow, okay, and your car can't operate without it, you take it in and you drop that little sting of a 1 or 2K to get it fixed right at the dealership. So when people don't fully understand the problems of how their health, or their the weight that they need to lose, or whatever it is you're coaching on, when they don't really understand the problem that they have, it's very hard for them to really understand the type of solution that they need. And as a result, it's like you're trying to sell honey to alligators. Like they don't need it. And so just becomes a simple misalignment. And now you end up wasting your time because you're essentially talking to somebody who doesn't even really need what you have to offer. Okay. So that's number two. They don't fully understand your problem. Number three is that they don't see your offer as the best solution for them. Right. And so this happens when, they know they got a problem, but maybe like your offer is just like, they're just comparing it to other solutions. Like, yeah, I feel like I would get this from this other coach or this other trainer though. Right. Or I feel like I don't really need help with my nutrition. Right. You guys have probably heard that a lot, especially from my fitness transformation coaches. Like, oh, no, I just want the workouts. So when people don't see your offer as a solution, well, of course, they're not going to see the value in it. And so you typically notice that this is a thing when people try to tell you that they want one part of your offer, but they don't want the other. Like, yeah, I don't really need the mindset stuff or like the habit stuff. I think that's pretty good. I just need like the plan. Or maybe it is expressed as, the blood work thing, I'm pretty good on that. I think I know my blood type. Like if you're like a blood type based, health coach where you help people eat based on their blood type. And so again, if they don't see your offer as a solution, why would they buy it? Okay. Sometimes you have a super dope offer, but the way that you pitch it, market, or articulate, it just doesn't land. And now they're on a call and they're like, okay, this sounds good, but I think I can get something better elsewhere. And people don't buy when they think that they can get something better elsewhere. Okay, so that's number three. Number four is major. This is probably one of the biggest causes of frustration for health coaches. And I can, this, you're dealing with this when you get off a consult and you're immediately like, yo, why are people so full of shit? It happens, right? Like people come to us for help, and then when it's time to make a commitment, all of a sudden it's not important, right? Well, if you're dealing with that, it's more than likely that people aren't buying your offer because they don't have a sense of urgency. So they don't have a sense or a reason to act now, so they put it off. This is one of the most common reasons why people don't buy your health coaching offer. If they don't have urgency, then the minute that the price even stings just a little bit, or they think about the type of commitment that they're going to need to make, it goes from, I really want to do this, to like, maybe I can just, I think I'll start closer to the summertime, or like maybe I'll start when the kids go back to school, or New Year's is right around the corner. I just want to wait till the holidays are end, or it's springtime, and my son has lacrosse practice, and so I'm coaching. I'm thinking maybe when that season ends. And so when people don't have urgency, they put off their commitments. And let's be honest, guys, as health coaches, the reasons why our whole industry exists is because people put off commitments. It's because people have a life, and to be healthy and fit is a commitment. And throughout navigating life and their challenges and the things that they got going on, they continue to push off that commitment. And so this is a big reason why people oftentimes don't buy, because they're used to actually putting off the commitment. So they've got to have urgency. There's got to be a reason to act now when they're having a conversation with you, right? Oh, and before I get, guys, so one number 4, but before I forget, right? If you're serious about getting results with your sales, and DM me sales, and I'll be able to send you over some details on how we can help. This can look like my premium coach conversion kit, which is if you're selling a high ticket offer right now. This kit has helped some coaches that we work with literally double their call bookings and show up rates before even joining our program. It has also helped them get more qualified leads by tweaking their application form and asking the right types of questions, so that way they get people who are actually interested, who are actually value their expertise, who are actually looking to make a decision around, right, wanting to work with them. So if that sounds like you, right, DM me sales. I'll get you that over and some more details how we may be able to help you guys with making some more sales, right? One of the things I always say is that, listen, if you already have an offer, you're already selling it, then, and you have some sort of close rate, if you're closing every 1 out of 4 offers, then we just need to get you 8 offers within the same time frame, and you can double your sales, right? So make sure to feel free to DM me sales, and I'll send you over those details. But let's keep it going, right? So we just did 4, guys, out of 7 reasons why people don't buy your offer, why people give you an objection, why they say they want to wait till next year, or maybe you circle back to it a couple months from now, or maybe they say that they need to speak to their wife or their husband, or say that they need to think about it when it's time to invest in you to get the help, to get their body, their health, their mind, their productivity right. Okay, so now we're going to go into a little bit of the deeper core reasons. Okay, and so this is going to be really, really important, which is number 5, is they fear making a commitment. And so they have a fear of failing, right? Self-doubt, maybe past investments of time, money, or energy kind of didn't work out, right? And so as a result of that, they're like kind of in this place where they don't want to go through that same feeling of failure, or shame. And that's just a reality. And this is where I need you guys to be a little bit more human with when you're talking to people. A lot of times as a health coach, we hold people accountable for a living. We kind of don't take bullshit. Sometimes that can lead to us being a little bit not as understanding, right? But the reality is that for every woman that, opts in to join your program, she may have made a decision before to try to get help with a personal trainer or do a plan, and she spent money and time, and maybe she fell off and she didn't make a commitment, right? Maybe she took time away from her family, her spouse, to do that, and she didn't follow through. And so sometimes there's just a little bit of self-doubt or shame associated with that. And so we need to make sure that, when people are, coming to us for help, they have confidence in being able to make commitments, right? So that's number 5, they fear making a commitment. Okay. Number 6 has everything to do with how your process feels to them, right? So earlier we talked about they don't see your offer as a solution, meaning like they just don't see like coaching as a solution. But maybe they do, however, they don't see your specific type of approach solution. So number 6 is your method doesn't really appeal to them. So like the process and the way that you help people get results, they either have doubt in it, they think it won't work for them, or they're simply just not compelled to move by it, right? So maybe they're like, okay, let's just say that you help men who are entrepreneurs with really busy schedules like me build muscle, because I have only eaten once today, and Coach Tyson is struggling to keep putting on my muscle right now. That's what happens when business grows. You struggle to eat. Okay, so let's just say there's a coach out there that helps guys like me build muscle, and I book a call. I'm like, man, I really see your program, man. I see you got some pretty good results. And the coach starts to break down exactly how he's going to help me get results. And he's like, yeah, man, so I'm going to have you meal prepping, eating 6 days a week. I'm eating 6 times a day. And I'm looking at him like, bro, I ain't eating 6 times a day. I can't eat 6 times a day. I just don't think it's going to work for me. If I'm eating 6 times a day, I'm going to feel super tired and sluggish. And now I'm going to have to become less productive in my work as a result for the goal of trying to build more muscle. There's got to be a better way. So let's just say that's my purview. That's my perspective at the time as a prospect. I'm probably not going to make that call. I'm probably not going to make that investment. I'm probably going to try to find an investment that appeals to businessmen who understands their schedule and realize that I can't be meal prepping and eating 7 times a day. Maybe if I split it into 3 big meals, or there's some sort of other eating modality that I can use, that might work for me. And so like, that's just a perfect example of like, when somebody doesn't believe in your approach, like if your method feels too different or they don't grasp how it could work, they can hesitate on it, because it's like they're not really bought in, right? They're not really bought in. Let me know if you guys are finding value, or if you guys are understanding, or even can even attest to like different experiences selling your offer where you recognize that this may be a thing, right? Because these are all things that have to be happening in the mind of your prospect for them to want to make a decision to get help. People make decisions when they're clear and certain on what's the other side of it. And so notice that everything that I talked about it's a perceived risk or concern. I don't trust this person. I don't really understand, my problem, right? I don't have enough urgency, fear of making the commitment, right? We talked about number 6, they don't believe your approach. And then lastly is number 7, which is similar to what we talked about in the fear of commitment, but number 7, it goes a little bit deeper, right? And that's that your prospect doesn't believe in themselves. They're just not confident that they can follow through, and they want to reject the opportunity altogether. This is probably the biggest reasons why some of you guys, when you drop your offer that's 2K, you turn into a freaking therapist by the end of the damn call, and you feel drained about it. And the reason being is because your prospect, they have this huge lack of belief in themselves, huge lack of confidence in following through. And so when it's time to make that commitment, they oftentimes start to reject it altogether. So in health coach growth, in one of our offers, we give our coaches, coach like you guys, sales role play, right? And so they get access to help closing their deals. And one of the things that we go over is like, that you're dealing with the fear-based objection when you're navigating closing the deal, and all of a sudden the prospect starts shooting out. I call it a shotgun objection. They start talking. They just start like vomiting a bunch of reasons why it's not the best time. It goes from like, yeah, I just need to think about it, and I need to go over the budget, to like, oh, and this and that and that. And now I think about it, I don't even know about this. And that's when like typically fear, right, is holding them back. That's typically fear of making a commitment, right? Or just complete lack of belief in themselves to be able to follow through. And this is the thing about selling high ticket, guys. It's easy for somebody to buy some $27 4-week shred program that comes in a form of PDFs, and they don't follow through, because listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to spend more than that on a date. So it's easy for people to not have to really think about their commitment when the price point is the price of eggs right now, because your orange man in the White House wilding out on these embargoes and tariffs and all that, right? So what that essentially means is that when you're selling a high ticket offer, that belief that somebody can actually do it, it needs to be present before they make a decision. Right? So they don't believe in themselves. Another core reason why your prospects may not be buying. Let me know if you guys are resonating with any of this so far. Let me know if any of these things, right, you experienced before. Because I can run through them, right? For example, if they don't fully trust you, you'll typically know, like, and I'm gonna kind of let you guys know, because I was running through all 7, how these express themselves in sales calls. So when somebody doesn't trust you, they typically express this. This typically manifests in a sales call by them just being super guarded or not being super truthful with you. Like they feel like I don't want to tell this person what's really going on right now. Okay. When a prospect doesn't fully understand their problem, this is a lot of times manifested in a sales call when you get to your pitch and they're like, yeah, that sounds good, but I don't really need that. Right. So like, you know that they need help with their mindset, but they don't think they need help with their mindset. You know that they need accountability, but they don't even think they need accountability. Right. When they don't see your offer as a solution, you'll know because they'll typically say, yeah, they'll typically be looking at other programs that are completely out of alignment with what yours does. Like, yeah, I just thinking about doing this keto program. So I'm thinking about that too. But it's like, based on what they told you, a keto program might not necessarily work for them, but they just don't see your offer as a solution, right? When they don't have urgency, this is manifested through objections, typically time objections. Oh, let's circle back next week, next year, next month, or when this happens, right? So they don't have any urgency. That's gonna be expressed in the way that you get objections. If they fear making a commitment, it's typically going to manifest in partner objections. So what ends up happening is when somebody fears making a commitment because of doubt or past investments or things that didn't work out, they will typically put that commitment on some sort of external party, like their husband, wife, or somebody that accordingly has to be present when they make the decision. Now, I'm not saying that in every single call, people don't need to speak to their spouse, especially the higher price you offer. That might be, I respect the way people make decisions with their spouses, right? But oftentimes, unfortunately, as business people, like, our prospects don't care about anything but themselves. So some people are just sometimes going to naturally be not as honest and kind of put that decision off to somebody else because they have a fear of making a commitment themselves, right? If they don't believe in your approach, it's gonna be a bunch of logistical objections, and they're just gonna be like, I don't know, with the timing, or you still have to work out for this amount of time, or I don't know if I can make it to the gym, or something about your approach that they don't feel bought into it. And if they don't believe in themselves, this typically is manifested through just lots of fear around a decision, just lots of fear, lots of pessimism, right? And you're just like, hey, like, dude, or like, girl, I'm trying to help you get in shape here. I'm just trying to help you get right with your health. But like, they have all these reasons why they can't do it. And it just continues to build up and build up and build up, especially towards the end of the call. That's a prime indicator that they don't believe in themselves. Right. So like I said, guys, these are a lot of the reasons why people don't buy your offer. And one of the biggest reasons coaches come to me is because they want to create more sales. They want to sell it with more ease. They want to sell more frequently, and they want to do it in a way that feels more authentic to them. Right? Because the biggest issue is most people don't actually market and have a sales process that allows them to check mark all of the reasons why people don't buy before the call. So a lot of people don't have a way to build trust, to get their prospects to understand their problem, to get their prospect to understand their solution, to have urgency, right? To get over their past fears of commitment, to believe in their approach, to believe in themselves. A lot of people don't have a way or a process that they can nip those things in the butt before having a sales conversation. So what ends up happening is you have to turn into the Wolf of Wall Street to get somebody to invest a somewhat of a significant amount of money in a great solution to get their ass in shape, or to get, what they're looking for, because you have to deal with all of this loaded fear and perceived risk and concerns right at your call. And this is exactly why I created our approach to client acquisition and coaching. I sold online health coaching from 2 to 5K price point, my own offer, to arguably one of the hardest markets to sell to. Arguably one of the hardest markets to sell to. Okay, I sold high ticket fitness coaching to Black men. Okay, guys, the men with the greatest genetics on earth, who sometimes can be 50 pounds overweight and think that they don't need a trainer. Okay, I sold high ticket and built a 6-figure business, right? Selling to one of the hardest people to convince to get help with their health. I'm not afraid to have these conversations, guys. It's just, it is what it is. And throughout this process of selling and going through all of these objections and just feeling drained, I realized that you can do most of the selling in your marketing, in your content, in your sales process. So that way you don't have to carry such that heavy load. Because the type of clients that I work with, you know, the Phyllis's and the Kaylee's or the Britney's, like, they don't want to deal with all that shit. They don't. Ladies, you guys know, you don't want to deal with having to be like this hyper masculine penny stock salesman to get people to invest in their health. And so the reason why we built our process was to really make client acquisition much more simple and much more seamless for the coaches that we work with, because most people just try to get more leads, right? Or they try to piecemeal their way to getting more clients. But the approach that we take is to market in a way that hits every single one of those reasons that we talked about today, right? It positions you as a one-of-one thought leader in your niche. We've had clients do $27,000 launches in 3 weeks with their high ticket offer. We have clients go from 5 figures to 6 figures in 6 months, a year. Right? Coach Phyllis, literally, she scheduled 28 calls this month through the way that she markets with this process. And so if you're like one of my coaches and you're mission driven, you're passionate, you don't want to become a glorified stock penny salesman to sell your offer, but you really, really want to attract the right type of clients that value your expertise. You want to sell in a way that feels authentic and it doesn't feel like you work at a car dealership. Then I want to make it easy for you. So here's my offer. If you DM me sales, I'm going to take you through these exact steps. Now, if you're watching on YouTube in the Facebook group, make sure you head over to my Instagram and shoot me a DM. If you're watching inside of the Facebook group, just comment sales right under. Okay. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it feel super clear on exactly what is limiting your sales growth, right? Because we're going to take you through what I call a thought leader audit. This is almost like a multi-point inspection for your offer, messaging, and funnel, so we know exactly what the gaps are, right? Because for some people that come in, there's what they need to increase their sales is literally just sales process wise. Some people it's offer, some people it's the way that they're actually pitching their offer. So we have to figure out exactly what that is. So you're not scrambling trying to figure out what you need to do to grow more sales, because that's what most coaches do. They scramble and then they invest in the wrong solutions, right? I had a coach I was having a conversation with, come to me and say that she invested in a program that was teaching her a CRM, but she's not getting leads. And I said, okay, so what lead? We got a CRM and no leads. We're working backwards. Right? CRM is called a customer relationship management. You ain't got no customers. So but here's the thing. It's not her fault. A lot of you guys don't know how to really identify what is the most relevant problem in your business. And that's why so many coaches in the coaching industry has such a bad name to it, because people sell people shit that they don't need, which is people do that a lot. We don't do that here. But also most coaches just don't know how to diagnose what they actually need in their business. Right? I've had coaches come to me saying that they need leads. I check their Instagram. They got 12 people DMing a day. You don't need no damn leads. You need to figure out how to turn those leads into some book calls. And so every process is it's gonna just look a little bit different. So that's why we start with an audit. And then from there, you're gonna get some high level access and support with 5 days of coaching completely on the house. And we're gonna help you with those issues, right? Where you're gonna get access to some content coaching, as well as some immediate strategies to bring in sales. Immediate. So DM me sales. We can do a full order for you. You're getting 5 days of coaching with me and my team completely on the house. And you're probably thinking, Coach Tice, why are you doing this? Is it because you have something to sell me? Of course it is. But here's the thing. I don't sell you something there's not a need. I'd rather you actually experience what it's like to be coached by me and help you make some money first. And then if you actually want to raise your hand and say, Coach Tice, I kind of rock with your style. You're actually one of the solid coaches out here, and I'm thinking about working with you. Then we'll just have a conversation. If not, that's totally fine. Like, I do this because my job is to help you become a better, more informed, and better performing business owner for your health coaching business. That's why I give you guys this exclusive preview into the coaching. And also, I'm gonna be honest, the reasons why so many of my coaches can hit massive results is because I get to choose my clients. What better way to tell if somebody's not a good fit for you than to actually help them for free and see if they have the right type of character, see if they're willing to be committed, to show up, to reach out for support, and to actually get the shit done that they said it was going to get done. I had a coach the other day, like, completely ghost in a trial, and I like gave her so much help. Listen, she's just not in a place where she can receive the type of level of support that can take her to the next level with me, and that's okay. And that's okay. When she is, and I'm here. But this process allows me to not feel unaligned in my coaching business because I'm trying to sell people stuff that they either don't need or they're not the right person for me to be helping. So it's a win-win. I get to see if I can take you to the next level, and you get some free coaching, get to bring some cash on the business, get to get way more clear on what you need to do to be making more sales more frequently with ease, and we all win. So guys, tap in. I work with niche online health coaches. So if you help people, fat loss for women over 35, fibroids, PCOS, anything with the pain or injury prevention, productivity coaches, holistic health coaches, peak performance coaches, menopause coaches. Like, if you're a niche health coach and you're mission driven, like you want to build more than just a coaching business, you want to build a movement, then tap in. Like, we want to come, we want to get you right. I have no shame letting you guys know how fire our service is here, because like when you come in, you'll be 100% in alignment and understanding why I got this energy when I pitch my shit. All right. So guys, I appreciate you for tapping in. Again, 7 reasons that they don't sell. If you're taking sales calls, you're getting objections, there's probably one or a combination of these reasons that they're not buying, and you need to figure out what that is, and we need to fix it so that way we can get you some more sales. All right. So feel free to DM me sales. If you're in a Facebook group, drop a comment. If you're on YouTube, click the link under this. Get over to the Instagram and shoot me over a DM. Guys, I appreciate you. We will talk soon.